How freaking annoying. Oh my God, TikTok. TikTok, you kill me. But hey, YouTube. Are you ready for some YouTube? I think that's it. Are you ready for some football? No, I am not ready for some football. Thank you, but no. But here we are, Destination Decluttered on the YouTubes for the next hour. Taking a drink of water, putting on some chapstick. Gonna check in. Hey, there we go. Kara and Becca Lee here again. Love it. Mama Koala, you can see and hear me. I love it. Speaking of mamas, though, here, let me just do this. Oops. Oh, so freaking annoying. There we go. Okay. I'm just going to take a minute, you guys. As people are tuning in, I'm here. I'm reading a text. Okay. And now you're going to hear me talk text to my mother. Okay. And I see Christine. I freaking love this because that's exactly who I'm talk texting. Hey, mom, exclamation point. I am so glad you didn't have them come over yesterday, comma, that wasn't rude at all, period. Your peace of mind is 100% the most important thing, comma, love you, exclamation point. And now I got to change it to peace of mind as opposed to a piece of my mind. That'd be kind of weird. Peace, there we go. And change mom to mom to mom. There we go. No, mom did not sign up. My mother did not sign up. And if anything, they harassed her by phone, text, and emails to contact them to confirm. So I just didn't answer and they just didn't come. I freaking love that. Yes to the mom. I was so afeared because I texted her about it yesterday and she didn't get back to me. And I'm like, oh my God, did she let a murderer into the house? But then she's just her goofy self and says, sorry, I forgot to let you know. It's all good, but yay. And notice, this is why, yes. Yeah, and you know what, Lexi P? So blessed to talk text to your mama. Yeah, I will probably talk text her even when she's gone. Hey, mom, just so you know, because I talk text my dad. Hey, dad, check me out. Look what I'm doing. I know you're proud of me. I don't even give him the option to say, are you proud of me? I know you're proud of me. Okay, so there we go. All right, I love it. So yeah, Beth's mom is okay. She did not get somebody to come. But notice, like, this is one of the reasons why I care for my people and I will defend you like a mama bear, because that's why I like to keep it that the people on the decluttering mailing list group, I protect you from trolls. And I also don't bait and switch. I also don't now get you into some, oh, I just hate that. Don't you hate it when you sign up for one thing and automatically they put you on all these marketing emails? It makes me can't stand oh, there we go. All sorts of good stuff. Here's a fun thing too, you guys. Any of you who just leapt over from the Destination Decluttered TikTok, you know we were just talking about the importance of conserving your energy and being mindful about how you can delegate certain things. I just got a text from somebody who's going to help get our car in better shape. So I can delegate like nobody's business. And it feels good because I'm helping his business. Okay. So here we go. Daily fix of inspiration. It's time to play the music. It's time to light the lights. It's time to meet them up. It's on the Muppet Show tonight. Boom, 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 boom. Erin, the Bills versus the Dolphins. I believe that's football, right? Yes, you are ready for some football. There's somebody else who's part of the Pen Pal Club, which is a subset of the email club, that is also a Bills fan. I don't remember off the top of my head who it is. It might be Laura Gibbons Voorhees. It might be somebody else. But anyhow, you can know we're going to have a Pen Pal Club Zoom call next Tuesday. Okay, so everybody in the Pen Pal Club is invited. There we go. Louise says, spent 2 hours in the basement. Next hour, we'll sit and listen to you. Yeah, get comfy. Get comfy one-for-somes, okay? I spent some time in my basement yesterday, and I highly recommend not having intricate, detailed railings that go down to your basement. Our house was built in the 50s, and these things I don't think have been cleaned since then. I mean, we've lived here for 20 years, and I know I haven't, but I'm spending some time doing it. It will look great when it's done, but man, am I so glad I share with you guys the concept of chunking it down, because I did a little chunk on this side, a little chunk on that side, a little chunk on this side, a little chunk on that side, and then it was time to sign off. Is it done yet? No, but it's starting again. Okay. So I will start again. Um, Maybe between 12, 1 and 1:30, but then I've got stuff. Oh, we have to get our flu. I will be doing some of it. Anyhow, that's me. And it feels so good to have some movement of stuff that has been stuck. Hey, McDoug's from Tampa. I love it. Alrighty. So this is cool. This is the fun thing. And this is why I like to do the order of the lives, TikTok to um, YouTube, because there are always, and I say this in a good way, there's always a smaller number of people that show up for the YouTubes, and it chunks down the audience. So we can have a little bit more of an in-depth, a little bit more, what do I say? Not meaningful, because it's meaningful over there too, but it's just, it's quieter. It's a little bit more civilized. It's not a lot of this, that, pinging around and stuff. Okay. I love this. Therapy Gal Sue says, today I'm decluttering my to-do list. Procrastination items. Ladder to fix vent lid. Notice that that's a part of the process. In order to fix the vent lid, I need to get the ladder. Videos to replace new fridge filter. Yes, watching a video. Notice there's a verb there. Find the right tools to fix the loose knobs. Wonderful, Therapy Gal Sue. That's a really good way. Here's a fun thing. If you have a list of just things that need to be fixed, vent lid, fridge filter, loose knobs, figure out what's the very next verb. What's one verb you can do to get you closer to that thing being fixed? Add a verb there. What can I do? Oh, I can text my mother. Oh, I can check in for my doctor's appointment yesterday. I can walk down the basement to get the paper towels. Use the words to make what you're doing more real, and verb, that's what's happening. Verb is action. Get action into your words, and you're going to be more likely to take the action because you've written it down. Cool stuff, Therapy Gal Sue. If you need any help chunking it down, you just put it into the comments. Now, here's something that I like about the YouTube lives, because we can get into some deeper stuff. Oh, there we go. Oh, B Penn says, this is my first time on your YouTube side. Loving the angle change. Yes, it's wider. Actually, here, so here's a fun thing. I'll give you a little bit of a tour. Nobody will ever see the entirety of my house because I'm private, but I will show you this. Notice the difference focus framing can be. If I move this over here, if I get right between these two things, oh, look, my life is all together. I have no clutter. Yeah, you move a little bit this way. Oh, I've got stuff hanging up on the back of the door. Yeah, I do. I highly recommend, you guys. It is a game changer and a half, if not two game changers, to get some like these multiple hook things and put them on the backs of doors. Nobody ever sees this stuff when they open up the door to look in. This is kind of like a hack from when I worked visual merchandising. But man, it's a great place to put the clothing that isn't quite dirty and you might wear it again. Okay? But notice there are people that pretend everything is perfect. Oh, no. Here's a real fun one too. Okay? Is if you move over here, these boxes have been here for months. They were down the basement. Basement's getting worked on. I got to go through some of these boxes. Do I? I don't know. I'm going to figure it out when I have a place to put them. So I say to you, I am surrounded by stuff, as you are, but I'm feeling good about what I'm doing. I'm not beating myself up, and I am going to get to it when I get to it, and it's going to be the right time to do it. I also love the fact that you can see if I pulled this closer, really the destination. So we start here And it's funny because the way that it does it, it's not mirrored like the other one. So my hand movements are always off. But I love the fact that you can read the word happiness because right here, this happiness, that is what we're aiming for. If you're not aiming for happiness, let's stop what you're doing and aim for happiness. And let's also make sure that how you're getting there is a journey that feels good when you're doing it. Okay? Oh, oh, Kara, yeah. Asking people for help is not a sign of weakness and it can make things worse. My mom fell down a few stairs carrying a fan in Maine. And this is after Kara's best friend's dad fell. Please ask for help. Yeah. My mom lives in a split level colonial up in Massachusetts, and she has 2 cats that I feel like are always like underfoot. I am waiting for the day. I'm gonna write this down again. I'm just gonna write down fallen and can't get up. I'm gonna circle that. Talk to my sister about getting one of those things. Because I'm afraid that she's gonna fall and then she can't, move. She's gonna break her neck. Anyhow, there's nothing wrong with asking for help. It's great that if I think it's important kind of to also not just then go in like we just happen to live in a ranch house where everything except for the basement is on one level. I will tell you, my muscles in my legs that do stairs are weak, and I don't like that feeling because I want to be able to climb all the stairs over in Greece. Okay. So I offer to you, it's not a bad thing to live in a house with stairs. It can actually be good, but please don't try to multitask and please allow other people to do the things so that you can carefully go up and down stairs, that you can carefully walk and not trip over clutter. Okay? Yeah, partly your personality and partly your Alzheimer's. Yeah. We always think we can do more. We want to believe we can do more than maybe we actually can. Okay, Kara, I'm going to ask you a favor because you're a little bit ahead of this than me, and this is going to help all of us. Kara says, and I like the idea of the watch. That's really good. The have fallen and can't get up. I literally wrote that down. Did we not always see that commercial or like in the Valpak coupons? If you find a company that you like and you're working with that, please let me know. Please let us know if it works out well, because I feel like it's important. And the cool thing is, my mom, we kind of have buy-in from her on that because she doesn't want to go to an old age home. She's 84 and she's like, that place is full of old people. She's such my mom. I get it though, because there are people who have been old since they were 40 something. I'm forever young and I want to stay that way. And so does my mom. But yeah, it may come a time to do that. Oh, Laura Voorhees, just real quick. Are you a fan of the Buffalo Bills football club? I may have you mistaken with somebody else. Okay. Yeah. My verbs on my to-do list: weed, sort, order online, fix, rake, shower, and more. I love it. Get those verbs in there. Your mom sounds pretty rad. My mom is pretty rad. She's also a nut, but I love her. Yeah, my mom is pretty cool. She is. She was the first person in her family to go to college. She got her PhD when I was in my, 20s, 30s. She used to sing in a chorus. She used to build sets for community theater and the floats for the 4th of July parade. But even then, she wasn't building them herself. Like, she would design it and you delegate. Okay. Kara says, we have a social worker and I have a call in. I'll report back. Thank you. It's not a smartwatch. No, we don't need anything. Does anybody else, like, seriously, on your own phone, so many things you could do with it, but you do the same things over and over again? There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. So I offer to you all, how can we help you today? What's going on? What could we use our time today to help you with? Maybe this chunk of time is a chunk of time that you can just use to get some of the stuff done that you want to get done. Now, I highly recommend, if I'm kind of chatting at you in the background, at least this is how I work, is I need quiet in order to, as we would say in my family, hear myself think. If I need to make decisions, I really need to consult myself, and therefore I need to kind of quiet down my environment. So this may not be a way for you to decide, or it could be that it helps make you decide, because then us talking about things keeps you focused on what's important to me. The TikTok live earlier said, somebody said about like they had two piles of clothes. So you may need some time to think of, wait, what categories of clothes do I have? But once you decide the category, you may be able to be like, do I fit in this? Do I not? And you may know that and still have somebody chatting with you. So learn about yourself enough to know what you could use this chunk of time to do that's going to be the most helpful. Okay. All righty. Okay, not really for the Bills. There was somebody else. Okay, that was my grandma's favorite team because she lived near Buffalo. Okay. The Vikings. Minnesota Vikings? Cool. Very cool. All righty. Kara's going to self-care. She's going to get her hair cut, go into the nurseries, and she's going to take care of herself while she's taking care of her mother and her friend's garden. But she's taking care of herself too. So yay, Kara, for being an inspiration. You rock. Okay. Yeah, I gotta look that up. Well, you know what? Here's a fun thing. I'm not a sporty person, as you can, if I've not made that clear. I want to just offer to you that people in the Declutter Email Pen Pal Club, the PPC, the Pen Pal Club, we're going to have our Zoom on Tuesday night. That's when I can ask anybody's sports teams, and you can put it in the comments, and that might be something to connect with. Okay. There we go. Ellen says, having lunch before I do more cooking and cleaning. Go Birds. Yes, that's that's about as much sports as I know, is that here in the Philly area, if somebody says something, I'll say, you're like, go Birds. It's like, and also with you, you know. It was funny the other day, my husband and I were walking somewhere and somebody said something, and without at the very same amount of time, my husband's not sporty either. Both of us were like, go Birds. And it kind of like is a connector. It's wicked funny. Oh, very cool. This doesn't happen often, and it didn't happen a lot when I was a little kid, but my mother well, we didn't text back then. And my mother just said she loves me too. So yay, I'm doing a good job. Whew. So how can there we go, Heather MC. Hey there, and go Vikings. See, we got Viking people in the, with their horns and hats and stuff. How can you use this time? How can I have this time, make this time beneficial for you? What would you like from me? If I'm calling in requests, request something from me, and I'm happy to talk about a topic. Not sports. You wouldn't get far with me. Put something in the comments, and let's make some good use of this time. Okay? And in the meantime, I'm going to see if I can look up. What was that? No, that wasn't it. Nope. Oh, well, I'll figure it out. Finding your people, finding the things other than clutter that connect you to other people, finding those things that you're interested in that other people are interested in too is really important. And the neat thing is about that, and I just was thinking about this today. Okay. Okay, I'll put a pause on that because Judy Jukes is asking, question about the Pen Pal email. Do I just hit reply all to introduce myself like others are doing, or is there another way? At the moment, Judy, we're keeping it low key, and we are growing this very organically and slowly as we figure it out. So yes, I think the best way right now would be just hit reply all and introduce yourself. I do know, however, that some people's email systems don't allow them to do that because email systems might flag it as spam. So what you might want to do then, and it might take a little bit more work, is to divide the list into halvesies or something. However, Judy, I will offer this to you, okay? Because I haven't sent out a new list. So you might want to hold off a few days, okay? And the reason I say that is this is we have had some new people. There's about 10 more people who signed up for the Pen Pal Club after the last email that I sent up. And what was the other thing? And we're going to have the thing on Tuesday. And one of the things I want to bring up is this. So I'll just plant a seed. Is there another way that would make it easier for you guys to connect? And notice I say you guys, not us, because this is the one thing I want to be very clear about is I don't want to create something else where I have to manage people. I'm being totally clear on that. If there's another way, and I think that was the mail carrier this time, so I'm not going to say who. Anyhow, the window's open. I don't want to touch this. I think he's got earbuds on. This is what you do. I want to see if there's another way that this crew can get together that makes it easier to connect. I know that the emails to the emails is a little bit hinky and clunky. So that's one of the things we can discuss on the Zoom and on Tuesday. And this next phrase is not to what's the word I'm thinking of? This next phrase is not to kind of force you to attend if you can't. But what I will share is this. The people who show up are more likely to get what they want than the people who don't. For example, let's say, and this is the only thing that comes up with me right now. Let's say people show up to the Zoom and a number of them say, let's start a Facebook group. The people who show up and offer that, and if a lot of people want to do it, fine, we can set up a Facebook group. The people who don't want to do it but haven't shown up, you don't give yourself, it's kind of like voting. If you don't show up, you don't get a chance to participate. Okay, so Judy, it's all good. Yes, and I think there may be a better way, or it may be now that we've got more people in the group, you may be then introducing yourself to folks instead of just introducing yourself and missing some people. Okay, so cool. But thank you for asking. I appreciate it, because this is just a way where people said, hey, I'd love to get in touch with these people. And I say, yeah, that would be great. I want you guys to connect, but I don't want to be the middleman or a girl. So let's figure out how to do that together in a way that feels good to you guys, because I don't want to set something up that works for me. I mean, I want it to work for me. Anyhow, Kimmy is asking, I'm learning to sew. Any sewers in the group? Now, I'm not a sewer. I'm punk rock, so I'm pretty much like I use safety pins, and I delegate my sewing, including my husband's stuff, to the wonderful woman at the dry cleaners across the way, and I'm happy to pay her the money to take in his shirts. So maybe if you're a sewer, if there's a sewer here, feel free to do that. But also, Kimmy, if you are part of the Pen Pal Club, you can ask that on Tuesday. All right. Shannon's a quilter. That's kind of like sewing, right? Marietta said, I just sorted all my unopened mail for the past 3 weeks and sorted out duplicates and categorized all my mail. Awesome, Marietta. What I would offer to you is this. Get curious why you had 3 weeks of unopened mail. Now, notice, I shrug it off because I'm like, it doesn't really matter to me. And I'm not like, why do you have that? I'm just curious. Because to me, I find it much more sustainable to do a little bit at a time. Okay. Okay. You pay everything online. I get that. So do I. So because you pay it online, could you easily just open up the mail on a daily basis? Now, again, if your system works for you, I am not about to change a system that works. But notice how you had to just sort 3 weeks of stuff. If that works for you, great. If not, there's ways you can change it. Ellen's a quilter. Shannon's a quilter. Okay. I love the fact I used to be afraid. I'll share this with you. I used to be afraid to open my mail, especially official looking envelopes. I know my mother is too, because that's one of the goofy things I got from her. Uh-oh, something bad is in that envelope. Heather MC, We dealt with email. We have dealt with mail fear, right? There we go. Heather MC, my biggest obstacle is fear. Yes, you and everybody else in the world. And I say this to include you. Trying to set the fear aside and get curious. Clutter and paperwork gives me so much anxiety. Ergo, less clutter and less paperwork will give you less anxiety. So notice fear. You guys, it's so interesting to think, to look for and find the fear thought that drives your actions. I'm afraid if I open up that bill, it's going to tell that I owe money that I may not have. I'm afraid if I open up that envelope, I will be reminded of all that money I spent and I'm going to regret some of the purchases. I'm afraid, I don't know, because my parents told me to be afraid of official looking envelopes. Always look for the fear, but not just fear in general. There are so many subtleties, like synonyms. It's so funny. If we looked up in the thesaurus, I bet there are twice as many words to describe fear than love. Okay, so Marietta, I can help you with this if you want help. I'm going to give it to everybody and you can choose to use it or not. I get overwhelmed by all the offers and junk mail. I receive a ton of requests to donate because I make a lot of charity donations. I can help you with this, okay? Because if you don't want to feel overwhelmed by offers and junk mails and requests to donate, you can unsubscribe from every single one of those, okay? I'm going to go show you something right now, okay? Give me a second. Here, look at the background. You're going to see me go over here. Okay, I take care of my mother's paperwork. Okay, Narelle, nice to see you. I'm glad the PPC Zoom is going to be at a time that works for you. Okay, I think this is it. Okay, my mother gets easily overwhelmed. My mother's mailbox was overwhelming, not the box itself, but the contents within. So what I did was I grabbed all her junk mail. It came back in grocery bags with me. And see all this? Every single one of these is a place that I took the time to call up, and I'll give you my script. And I said, hey, could you please remove me from your postal marketing list? I pretended I was my mother. It just made it easier. And then they said, yes, we can, because they have to by law. It doesn't mean that my mother doesn't donate stuff, but notice when people overwhelm you, you probably don't, like you have the places you want to donate to, but it can be overwhelming. All of this stuff took a while. It's funny because I'm looking, I put the date on it. That was in February. That was in July. That was in April. Anytime I would sit down and just for a few minutes a day. And I offered to you, I now have my mother on informed delivery. So I can pay attention to what she's getting, to be on the lookout for important envelopes. Very few of them come in because I also pay her bills online. So I offer to you too, you can reduce the quantity of junk mail in your that's coming in your mailbox. It works. This works. Instead of getting mail all the time and all these things, and she would get overwhelmed and then she'd feel bad. And the next thing you know, she's, giving money to the donkeys. She may still give money to the donkey rescue. I don't care, but I don't want her feeling obligated or overwhelmed. Okay. So I offer to you to take the time at the very beginning. Even today, Marietta, you could start today with today's mail. And anything you bring in that's one of those things, you can do it. And I'll give you a few. You open up the envelope and you look for like the 800 number to call. If you don't find it, you can then look up the business name online and find the contact info. And I highly recommend calling and talking to a person versus sending an email. Sometimes sending the email form is the only way you can do it. But they're going to call up and you'll say, I would like to be removed from your postal marketing list. Is that something you can help me with? And if they can help you with it, they're going to say, yes, here, give me the info. If they say, no, I can't, but somebody else can, then they're going to patch you through to that person. Then they'll take the info. They'll tell you what you've been unsubscribed. And it may take 4 to 8 to 12 weeks because they've got stuff in the pipeline. But after that, you will see a marked decrease. My mother maybe gets 1 or 2 pieces of mail a day, down from 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. It's great. And it's fun and it's low key. And it helps practice the little bit at a time, chunking it down. Now, I had a big chunk because I came home with all her stuff. So I sat down. But once you got in the role, once you got on in the vibe, it was just something you kept on saying. I'd like to be removed from your postal mailing list. Can you help me with that? I'd like to be removed by your postal mailing list. That's something you can help me with. It became no big deal. Yes. Yes. And even the ones I give monthly donations to still ask me for money. Right. And notice how that can feel kind of resentful. You still want to give the money, but you don't want to be on their mailing list. I do monthly donations. I donate to a lot of places myself. But one way that they can irritate me and make me not want to donate is when they automatically opt me in to their marketing machine. So they're going to do that automatically unless I say, no, I don't want that. And I take an action to stop what I don't want. This is really what decluttering is all about. And I'm just telling you, it is so freaking worth it to take those minutes. Okay? Yeah, and it's wicked fun because you're like, yay, I can do something to change what bugs me. That's what decluttering is all about, Charlie Brown. Everybody, try it. Now, Laura Voorhees says, I have developed the good habit of sorting mail as I walk up the driveway. Now, that's great. And many people say, oh, I just pitch that stuff into the recycle bin. I just love going the next step and saying, I don't even want to have to pitch it into the recycle bin. I want it to not come to me at all. Love it. Emily is giving some sewing tips. Very cool. Yeah. Iris Gabriel here. Nice to see you. So, decluttering the mail. Decluttering the mail is a great thing. It increases the likelihood that you won't forget anything, you won't lose anything important. Okay? And going back to Heather MC, I love, Heather, that you are beginning to recognize, and you have recognized, that fear is an obstacle. Fear will stop you like a log in the road, like a road block. Like there's a block in the road and it says fear, almost like there's a block in the road that says fear on it, kind of like a Roadrunner cartoon. It was from like the Acme Fear Company or something. And there's fear carved into it in front of your car. But as you get closer to it, you'll notice that it isn't one big block. Sometimes it's a very little block. Fear of, and then you look at so what is the fear of? Yeah. You set the fear aside to get curious, but you can look at the fear to find out what you're afraid of. Notice the clutter and paperwork gives you so much anxiety because what is it about that particular category of paperwork that you're like, fear of danger, hurt, owing somebody money, getting in trouble, ye olde getting in trouble. That's always a good one. That's one. I'm afraid of getting in trouble. Okay, Emily says mail is hard for me too. Anybody? Yeah, Leslie M says yesterday there was nothing in the mailbox. This really works. I love it. Okay, Lexi P says you like the idea of Facebook group. We can investigate that perhaps. We'll talk about it on the Zoom. Emily says mail is a hard one for me too. Now here's a fun thing. I think now that's my husband. Found $198 in an uncashed check reminder from 2021. So treasure hunt. Instead of looking at it being fearful, maybe there's something really cool in that envelope. Okay. Now this is interesting. Emily says next place I need to focus is on my basement, and it's so daunting. Okay. Daunting is another word for being overwhelmed. Do not overwhelm yourself. Do not overwhelm yourself by the way you are thinking about something. Chunk it down. Okay. Kimmy says, I have a love-hate relationship with our basement. Ooh, I love that. I'd fold a piece of paper in half. What do I love about my basement? What do I hate about my basement? Because you can eliminate the things you hate, and then there's just more love. Okay. Emily, if your basement is making you feel overwhelmed, I offer to you, grab a paper and a pen and write down, get all the overwhelmed thoughts out of your head. Get them out of your head and look at them. Chunk down some of the things you want to do in the basement. We've got basement stuff to do, and we're chunking it down as not to get overwhelmed with it all. We're doing a little bit at a time, a little bit a day. Even the stuff that we're getting just from this level down to the basement is still not done, but it's staged. It's better than it was. So there was a thought I had. This is not fully formed. I don't know if it's going to work, but I'll try. Yesterday on TikTok, I saw Bridget Everett from somebody somewhere in the summertime. I always forget the name of that show, but it was a good one. I watched it. And she talked about LL Cool J saying dreams don't have deadlines. And so don't give yourself a deadline. I mean, you can give yourself a deadline for the basement, but work at a pace that feels good to you. Chunk it down and do a little bit at a time, and it will feel good. It won't overwhelm your life, and you will get there. Now, the more time you spend in your basement, you will get there sooner. It's just like a road trip, you know? So there's that. But if it's starting to feel painful or overwhelming, notice that, and maybe that pain is an indication to back off, but get curious about it. Yeah. And I say the clue, the key to everything, look for the fear, examine it, rewrite the fear, take the sting out of it. It's almost like a spell, like you're casting yourself a spell. There's going to be something bad in that envelope. The basement is a scary place. Maybe there's something good in the envelope. That will break the spell. Break the spell by doing the opposite. The basement is a scary place. Maybe the basement's full of treasures. Ooh, maybe I'll find a check for $198. Maybe I'll find that sweater I've been looking for. What other treasures could I find in the basement instead of it being scary? I'm putting a spell. What spells have you cast on yourself that you believe about your mail, about your basement? Now Lexi P says, looking forward to meeting you all on Tuesday. I don't have time for hobbies, just a mom of 2 under 10. Okay, that can be a lot, but I still say, Lexi, carve out some time for yourself. So yay for you for carving out some time to go to the Zoom call on Tuesday. I am looking forward to that as well. Chunking it down, noticing the fear. You're not alone at any of this. Have you noticed? Even when I am talking to somebody else, there may be a bit of truth in what they're saying that you can see yourself in what they are. And then if there is, I would like to think you have the inclination to help them with that. So we're here to help others. We are here because we're lucky enough to be here. We're here because we're lucky enough to not have to be working in a factory right now. We have the ability to get onto the internet. So consider yourself lucky. And yes, and don't say just a mom of 2 under 10. Lexi, I'll offer to you, if you have 2 kids under 10, one of the things that may be overwhelming to you and to them, because there's studies that prove this, is too many toys, too much clutter. So you can help them learn how to declutter and maintain a good home so they don't have to be going through what we're going through right now. And when they grow up and they're 18 or 25 or whatever, they will be able to live in a house by themselves and take care of their own environment. What a wonderful gift decluttering is to give to you that you probably just maybe didn't get from your parents because they had their own issues with it. So I offer to you, I don't want to say bring your kiddos along, but I will offer you can learn some things from us and you can help them quiet down their nervous systems. Instead of being afraid or overwhelmed, chunking it down. Instead of being afraid, getting curious. Instead of saying it's going to be scary, maybe it's a treasure hunt. These are all life skills. Notice how this is affecting all of us, whatever age we are now, and how helpful it would be as a little kid to learn these skills. Is there something to really be afraid of here? And not overriding it. Maybe err on the side of caution, but clutter, clutter is pretty. What's the worst thing? Christine, what is the absolute worst thing that can happen? What is the scariest piece of clutter any of you can imagine finding? Dead bodies? No, we're not going to find them. Let's go there. Everybody, think for a minute about what you are afraid to find if you start decluttering a certain area of your house. What's the scariest thing? The most scary thing you are afraid to find? Ha, cobwebs. Okay, Kimmy, we vacuumed yesterday. Cobwebs, okay. Maybe you go down there with like a mask on and your little duster and you put it out in front of you. We do this when we come home from walks at night and the spiders have done it. I was like, look at me, I'm the Pope. I'm like blessing everybody. Maybe you get a vacuum with you and instead of, before you even start to declutter, you get rid of the cobwebs. So you're not afraid of getting your face in them. Okay. All righty. Ellen says, sure, with I could respond today, but my list is too long today. Okay. It's okay, Ellen. I want to play with my toys later. Good. Honor that. I'll sign up for the PPC, but I can make it to a Zoom on Tuesday. Yay. Okay. We've had a lot of water and power outages lately. 2 letters yesterday. Water company. Sorry the inconvenience. Here's $65 off the next bill. I love it. Electricity company. We've undercharged you. You owe $7.50. This is like playing Monopoly, isn't it? Okay. So yeah, but here's the deal. Now that you know what you owe the electricity company, you know the number. Now you can work with it. Now you're not going to avoid it. And then they say you will owe us $7.50. And now because you didn't pay it, there's an extra fee tacked on. Okay. Ellen, afraid of critters. Think about that. Okay. If I'm afraid of critters, I go down there and I pretend I'm in like the Parent Trap and I clap and I have the critters scatter. Bee Pens, an overdue library book. I definitely have one from COVID days. They asked me about it a few weeks ago and I need to go find it. Okay, you can then go on a treasure hunt. I would be excited to find that book because it would no longer be overdue. Okay, now, Therapy Gal Sue says, sentimental items for my husband and son who are no longer here and my daughter doesn't want. Yeah. And Sue, I get you. But you know what? To me, I'm going to offer because I'm not sure, but I'm thinking it's not so much about the things, but it's when you see the things, it's going to trigger a feeling of sadness, a feeling of loss about your husband and son. Yeah. And sometimes we don't want to feel feelings of sadness because we're afraid we're going to feel sad for like ever. What I offer is I get that. So I would tread slowly and I would be mindful of how the stuff that I'm finding makes me feel. But there could be plenty of things that don't remind you of your husband and son. And if you do get that stuff, and I think because Therapy Gal, one of the more helpful things to do in that process thing is sit with it. Allow yourself to feel the feeling to flow in and out of you. Feel it, honor it, don't hang on to it, let it go. Feel the love that you felt for both of them instead of the pain. And then you might be able to do something with that stuff. Decluttering sentimental objects, people, will cause you to feel feelings. Feelings are okay, but trust yourself to know when you are in the right frame of body and mind to go into that level of clutter. If you're not feeling like doing that, it's okay. Nobody says you have to. But don't do it because you're afraid. Do it because you know that you're not prepared for that journey yet. It's almost like saying, I'm going to wait until I have more gas in my tank before I start going across, Death Valley, because this could be like a long journey. So make sure you're feeling good, that you have time, that the situation is such that you can properly respond to the things you find. Now, B Pen says, I'd actually be scared to find more items I want to keep and not knowing what to do with them. Okay, that's happened, but I also have gotten rid of stuff. So it's also a win. It's a combo. Now, notice that if you want to keep something, and notice this is going to be like a chunking down kind of moment, B Pens. If you find something that you want to keep, ask yourself why you want to keep it. And also, if I keep it, what am I going to do with it? Where is it going to live? And be okay with that. The funny thing too is some things that if you've gone back and if you've gone down the basement, and it's always kind of going to the well, as they say, you know, going to the well. Sometimes you will go and you think you want this stuff, and then you go the next time and maybe you don't want it as much, or maybe you definitely want it. So you say, I'm going to find a home. I'm going to make a home for this thing that I love so much. I'm going to find a shelf to put it on. Or you see it and you're like, yeah, you know what? I could probably let that go now. Don't be afraid of not knowing. Not being afraid makes you avoid the scenario. Having knowledge of the items that you say you want that are like still in your basement gives you an opportunity to then go up to your living areas and walk around and say, where do I feel like it would be a good home for that thing? And these things take time, as the Smiths said. These things take time, and it's okay to take time with those things. Taking your time, making those decisions that feel right to you will ensure that you have an increase in decisions that feel good and a decrease in regret for not doing it or doing it in a rush. Okay? So there is no race. There is no slow. There is no fast. There's the pace that works for you on that day, in that week, in that month, in that season of your life. I have had these boxes staring at me for 6 months. I've been staring back at them, but we're cool because I knew that I wasn't going to go through them. I did condense some of them, and I did get rid of some things in them, but I knew there was going to be a specific time, and I'm thinking October, particularly October and November, where I will not be distracted by my husband, that I will be looking for things to do, and it will be a great opportunity for me to go through not all the boxes, a few of the boxes. Okay. I love this. Yeah. I love this. Leslie says, I love your advice about making a plan to use it. That has helped me release things. Yeah. So yay, make a plan to use it. Bring it up and just put it on a if it's a decorative item, put it on the counter, move it around, see where you want. Sometimes if we touch something enough and it doesn't find its right home, that can also make you feel better about letting it go. Yeah. And I love that Laura is saying, I found the suggestion of just looking at things, taking inventory, noticing what you have, but then not demanding myself to declutter them yet. Just noticing what you have can be a major step, because then your brain has a better idea of the quality and quantity and the items you have. So you can then go up to your living areas and say, am I going to use this in the kitchen? Do I have space to have that decorate my living room? What do I want to do with this stuff? Just even saying, I'm just going to do an inventory. I'm not going to go deep. I'm just going to see what I have. Oh, look, there's 20 boxes full of sentimental paper from the last 20 years. Okay, notice I have that. I don't have to declutter it right now, but I know that I have it. Yeah. Yeah. And I want to keep stuff. I just don't know where to store it. And I will offer it to you, Stacy. Make sure that the stuff you say you want to keep, you go through it recently. I say this because I have boxes here that I've kept some things of 40, 50 years. I have been able to finally let go of some things, and it's okay. So don't think just because you thought you wanted it years ago that you still want it right now. This will enable you to keep the things you truly want right now. And then having a smaller quantity of items could possibly make it so that you can find a place to store it. What I offer anybody, though, when you're storing sentimental items, please label your boxes. Label your boxes so when you go to declutter your basement, for example, you know it's sentimental and you don't feel like dealing with sentimental stuff that day, so don't. Deal with some of the stuff that's higher and that's closer to the surface. Also, if you die, it preps other people when they have to dig out your basement to know that those are the pieces, that's the pages, those are the paper sentimental things that Auntie Beth kept from 2008. Just seeing what you have can be very beneficial. Not forcing yourself and pressuring yourself to make a decision right now. And that starting sooner with decluttering gives you the freedom to do that. It's when things get down to the end of your life or somebody says you have to move, do it now when there's no pressure on. Don't just start it when there's pressure, because pressure will cause you to make decisions you may later regret. Yeah, that. Okay. All right, you guys. So we got about 6 minutes left. What else do we have going on? I'm going to check the secret page. Okay, so let's see. Today's Thursday already. Yeah. Friday. Okay, so Friday, tomorrow, we've got a TikTok and a YouTube. Monday, TikTok declutter party, YouTube at night. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, YouTubes and TikToks. Monday the 29th, and I was going to put here that we've got maybe I'll update it for the Pen Pal Club. For Tuesday, I'll add that. I'll send the email out. Yeah. Yeah. And Lexi P, I must change doing it for them. Yeah, I can help you. That's why we're here, Yeah. Now, B Pen says, I found taking pictures of things to be a huge help, depending upon what it is. Me too. Me too. And I offer to you, that's one of the things I think I'm going to do. And look at us. We are benefiting from the technology that didn't exist at the time we were saving some of those items. So notice right even now, for example, Lexi P could be saving some stuff for her kids. Perhaps instead of keeping the physical item, first of all, you get the kid involved. Would you like me to save this? Do you want this for later? We're going to pack it away and we'll check on it next year. And taking a picture versus keeping the item. Making a scrapbook. Perhaps one book is better than a whole bunch of stuff. Could be one of those things. I love this, Sue. Sue says, these are such helpful discussions. I keep seeing things to declutter that was not thought of a few months ago. Time changes perspective. Yeah. Time does change perspective. I still, to this day, am decluttering bits and pieces of stuff that I am now feeling ready to let go of. Is my house empty? No. But it's getting it to a manageable amount so that if I die, it's only going to be filled with the good stuff that I enjoyed living with. But if I move, that I would know that it would be easy for me to pack, because I constantly am always just checking in. Do I really need that? Do I really want that? Could I use something else instead? How can I simplify? Simplify, simplify, simplify. Because I want a simple, easy to maintain life. I don't want anything too fussy that needs the cleaning. Oh my God, those railings from the basement that have all the curly cues, and I'm going in there with a little thing and everything. That's not how I want to spend my time or energy, and that's okay. Keeping it simple. Even my collections, chunking them down to fewer items. Oh my God, you guys would crack up. My Snow Dome collection, I did a whole thing. They're on the top of 2 IKEA shelves. It's like the ones A to like M are here and N to international are there. I don't go into our living room often. And even the books that I collected years ago that I used to think are so important, I was thinking about this morning. I don't even read them anymore. I've read them. I don't even use them as resources anymore because the internet is here. So they are things that were important to me for a certain point in my life, but my life is different now, and my relationship to those items has changed. But I will share with you, there is like a fur of dust on the top of some of my snow domes because I haven't even looked at it. Now, when I look at them, I will dust them, and I should probably dust them before. I'm going to write that one down. Dust snow domes before the cleaning lady comes, because I don't want to have her do that. That's I actually enjoy it because you pick them up, you shake them around, you remember where you were. I'll put on some music. It'll be fun. Before cleaner. I may end up putting some of them in a donation bag, or I may still decide, yes, even though I got this 30 years ago and it's totally goofy, I still want to hang on to this. It still brings me joy to have 100 and some odd cheesy plastic snow domes as a decorative display in my house because that's the kind of person I am. Hang out with your stuff. Check in with it. It's like a relationship. Do we still want to hang out together? If not, why? If yes, then let's change the things we want to change and let's appreciate the things we love about it. Sound good? Sounds good to me. Sounds good to me. All right, we got like 45 seconds left. Closing mantras, anybody? Om, Om, the light in me sees and honors the light in you. Namaste, mofos. I'm going to go have a good day. I like hanging out with you. This has been fun. Hanging out with you all gives me an opportunity to organize and categorize and sort through and see what's swirling up in my head. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to share with you just a smidge of what's going on with me. And I share it to help you, because you shouldn't feel bad about your stuff. If your stuff makes you feel bad, let's do something about it. Okay? All right. So how about this? Tomorrow we've got TikTok lives and YouTubes. The weekend. This is wicked fun. You guys, this weekend, I'm going to a Roper romp. Mrs. Roper from Three's Company. I have a red wig. I have a caftan, and I have a friend from junior high school who is going to join me. Come and knock on our door. We've been waiting for you. It's going to be wicked fun. I'm going to have a wicked fun weekend, and I'm going to have a wicked fun Monday. Okay? When I come back, and we've got a TikTok, a declutter party, and a YouTube. Okay? So don't forget to have fun, people. Alrighty. Have fun, get some stuff done, and have fun. Alrighty. I will see you mañana.